Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 2 Curse of the Vampire Coast. Hey, got it on the first try. Where we are finally about to complete Celostra's legendary quest. I can't believe how long it has taken me to do this. In my defense, it seemed like it wasn't going to be worth doing for a really long time. But I'm extremely excited to earn this Necrofex Colossus. Lord knows he will be useful down in the southern rat conflict. So, the Siren of the Storm has waited a long time for this, hey, ain't that the truth? It is still unclear whether the Phoenix King is part of the High Elf contingent she is trailing, but their flags and standards indicate that they are undoubtedly associated with High Elf royalty. Such an eminent audience deserves Silostra's best performance. So they have a reinforcement army coming in at some point during the battle. We have no idea where they will come in. My guess is that they are not going to function as normal reinforcements, but they'll show up as sort of like an event during the battle, so we probably will not get a reinforcement indicator.
Oh, what joy do these gleaming spear wielders bring! For now there is a chance for me to sing, and then they shall escort to their seafaring king. But before then, I shall have to be
camera?
crass and make these unfortunate souls stare at my looking glass.
That was weird. Camera move seemed a little confused. Alright, prepare for the performance of a lifetime. Honestly, this doesn't really look like that impressive of an army. Yeah, I don't know that we need to do anything particularly fancy here. Unfortunately, we did not get to do actual deployment, and I do want to kind of do that thing where we set up our mixed melee and ranged line. Actually, I'm going to put the other depth guard at the other end. We'll put the Sirens in the middle like this. Okay, so let's lay the line out like that. This is how I want you guys to stand. So they're going to take a minute to make that happen. I probably will not bother to move the artillery. I do want to move Will up to a position in the line itself. Robert kind of out to one side, and Celostra sort of also in the middle, I think.
I know you lied.
Alright, are they expecting me to come to them? No, they're rearranging as well, but it looks like they're rearranging while moving forward. I think we can just wait them out here. Yeah, they're coming forward. So they have a little bit of cavalry, a couple of chariots. We haven't really seen a lot of chariots. I'm not sure whether chariots are going to be more or less effective than traditional cavalry against us. My suspicion, though, is that we will survive. Somehow we will get through. This actually is a pretty good time probably to do this stuff. Yeah, this looks like a good spot for it. Yeah, honestly, a lot of the value of those cannon shots isn't even actually in doing damage, it's in keeping them still so that our artillery can continue doing damage. And how much do I actually care about their artillery? I'm way more worried about the damage that their various melee units would deal, so I think we're going to keep focusing on these. Yeah, that volley's just not really that impressive. But Eagle is remarkably immune to gunfire. They have a Phoenix on this side. Alright. There we go. That's what I was expecting to happen when that Phoenix approached. So these are not Sisters of Avalorn. Them bombarding us from a distance, them shooting into the ghosts specifically from a distance doesn't really bother me. The enemies are still approaching. We're going to give it a second before we use the shanty again. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm not missing anything because it feels like I've been sitting still for a long time, but I think it has been right so far. And my artillery's tearing them apart. I should be doing this. I should also be moving up for one of these. I probably want to cast this, like... I want to cast it toward the mass of melee. Like, a shot right here can wander to the left or to the right and still be doing good stuff. Also, hey, the my units did not spread out the way I set them to spread out. Alright, so Robert's pushing up. I do not actually need these guys to run so much. Are these sisters? I thought there were 2 units of sisters in this army, weren't there? Oh yeah, I guess the other one is already pretty torn up. Pre-torn up. This will prevent them from moving out of the area of effect. You guys are probably... Let's have them focus on the Phoenix. You can focus on the Chariot, and let's try to get the Sirens out in front here. These depth guards should... I don't know, back up? Kind of seems like they're just going to get shot to pieces if they don't. For the most part, though, I think we're okay to wait here. As soon as that goes off, we're going to start summoning units. Alright. This is going alright so far. Just the Sirens. The enemy reinforcements are coming in from over there. Okay. Seems like this side of the battle is pretty under control. Robert's over there doing his stuff by himself, which he can do. I'm actually going to have these crabs run over to intercept this side. Alright, it looks to me like we can have a significant number of our units just break and run this way. Hold up. You guys are getting a little distracted. I intentionally did not turn on guard mode here, but we do need to pay a little bit of attention because of that. I had to make sure that our units don't go running off into some kind of deep into the enemy formation to chase. Okay, you guys are hitting the Shadow Warriors. We still have the bolt. Honestly, you know what? That is a more important goal for you. You deal with those bolt throwers. You, Sirens, can charge the Sisters of Avalorn because they're the only things that can actually be threatening to you. And these gun units probably all would benefit from just running over here. Let's take care of this incoming army. It's not very large, nor is it very impressive. I'm going to turn my artillery this direction as well. We don't have to stress too much. I just have to not let them walk right up behind me is all. You know what? You could use a little bit of love. I do be a little careful with the Sirens, because Phoenixes, obviously. Alright, Robert's doing his thing. Alright, well I think this is going pretty well. Especially considering how scattered the battlefield is. Alright, that Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower crew is done for. The Flamespire Phoenix has been distracted by summoned troops, which is like pretty ideal. Oof. Where is Silostra at here? She has killed everything that she was fighting, as always. Let's commit her over here. First of all, it looks like we're going to need a new set of crabs. Oh wow, he skipped right over our ranged line into Silostra. She killed him in a single hit. Alright. This sword is very silly. Oh, looks like this is about to be over. Yeah, I've played a campaign or two since they added the sword, but I have never actually seen it before. I cannot believe how powerful it is. Granted, we're paying a serious campaign level price for this for this resource, but man, it sure is good. All right, that battle pushed our Necrofex Colossus over to gold ranks, and this should really help the campaign to the south. Both the fact that Silostra can now sail down there and help personally, and the fact that we're going to have a great big... I don't even actually know what its traits are. Like, every Regiment of Renown is better than the base unit type in some way, usually some weird way that gives it some extra capability. But I don't think we actually looked at this thing too closely. I also do not remember, I'm going to be honest with you, when I recorded the previous episode, it was a couple of days ago at this point, do not exactly remember what the situation to the south looks like at this moment. I know that we had one of the armies in the south already recruiting a Necrofex Colossus, so we're just going to have one in each army. I think that's probably a good idea. Also, it's nice to have a regiment of renown version of anything for the sake of being able to instantly recruit it, and the fact that it will not permanently die. That's pretty good. She definitely does not need replenishment, right? Alright, so we've done it. We've earned ourselves a Bordello Flabellum, which is fine. And this is the exciting part. So what did that replace? What was I using in this slot? Boy, I don't even... Oh, I was using the ability recharge thing, but this also has ability recharge on it, as well as improved... Yeah, this is just better. It was quite a lot better. She has a ward save talisman on. You know, we have extra talismans of endurance at this point. Actually, I'm not sure that's true. We'll make sure nobody else actually needs that before committing that to her. Okay, so where are we at on this turn? Burke Black is still in recruitment mode for another moment. You are exactly where you need to be. So I was actually about done with this turn, huh? Alright, well, we're just going to turn Cat Rains around. I know she was headed toward the gate, but it looks to me like the Shrine of Cain is maybe a more reasonable place for her to go. And we got to start building out all of these walled settlements on the north. Tor Enlek should probably have a garrison upgrade.
Captain, on deck.
Viola was headed down toward the volcano, and we'll go through a couple of these empty buildings, or these empty cities. These might not be Skaven, actually. I don't know if they've ranged that far south yet. Okay, so there's no sense in worrying about it this turn, but next turn we can recruit the, well, you know what? No, I should do it this turn in case these guys get the bright idea to turn around and challenge us. So I'm just going to cut a normal melee unit for this, merge those guys up, and then, no, not raised dead, Regiments of Renown. So, the Gallows Giant. It is the Torch of Bogenhofen. Instead of salvos of cannonballs, The infamous Gallows Giant covers its enemy in a wave of incinerating fire. It has 5,600 missile damage. Oh, interestingly, okay, so the missile damage value is the value shown over 10 seconds. You can see the actual hit is pretty low here, so I assume it just hits a whole lot of times. It gives the burnt trait, lowering enemy leadership. Its melee attack also confers the burnt trait. It does not have a lot of ammunition. This is kind of a strange unit, it seems like. Huh. Wait, what is it? What does it mean to have a duration of constant on an ability that the effect of it is summoning a unit of... I don't... Okay. Weird. Weird. Let's see it in action. I have always thought that Total War Warhammer abilities are written in kind of a strange way. Especially the fact that they have a line for when they are disabled, but not instead of a line for when they are active, so every spell looks like it does the opposite of what it does when you first look at it. Okay. So, let's talk about objectives real quick, because we're pretty close on a couple now. Ulthuan will be destroyed. I swear to you, it's going to happen. We are running 11 units of Sirens right now. We got to get that number up. And we're very, very close to finishing this off. Still not actually any closer to the major settlements than we once were, but hopefully we'll make some actual progress on that soon. Also, where's my friendly group of Tomb Kings? We're improving towards 0. So probably we're not... To be perfectly honest, I would take a defensive alliance with them if one were offered, or if one were possible to get, because of how isolated they are. I don't think they're going to get me into any trouble. Alright, what other settlements need walls and stuff? So Tordrenal already has walls. We're going to get some more population so we can actually... Or it has a garrison building. Gotta get some more population so we can build it into real walls. Over here we need to upgrade this. You need that. Okay, I think that should do for now. Which is good, because I'm out of money. It's going to have to. And then, Silostra. Can I... Nope. For some reason, with her army, switching into March mode does not have any effect at all. Alright, we have some treasure hunting to do, and many, many, many Dark Elves to slay. Also High Elves, I guess. I still have a couple of High Elves to slay. But Silostra should now be in a place where she can just sail directly down toward Ulthuan. Oh, they have decided that they do not, in fact, want to fight with me if there is any chance they could be opposed. Alright, we're gonna manual this battle, even though there's not really a strong reason to, just because I want to see our new Necrofex Colossus in action. To get some idea of how this thing works. So they're trying to use the underway to, I presume, move away from us, but when you initiate an underway move, enemies that are in a pretty large area around you have a chance to intercept you. I presume that this is meant to be like, you know, there's you can't just go to the underway. You have to go to an entrance into the underway. So I assume that the idea is you get caught going to the place where you can access it. Alright, we need to march on them pretty aggressively here. The only thing they really have going for them at this point is artillery, but they sure do have artillery. And we don't have any. So, what I am saying is... Let's do this thing. We're not gonna... Whoa. Hold on now. This is... This is really something. It was just firing gouts of flame into the air, right? I wasn't seeing that. Do it again. Come on, do the cool idle animation. We all know you have it now. He's not going to do it. The moment we look away, he'll do it. Still, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So yeah, we're going to just put our melee in front and run at them, basically. Definitely not the way we usually do things. The bats will certainly want to approach quickly. Bloated Corpse probably will want to stay away from everything because he's not going to get up there. And it's just not going to happen.
Eager to kill.
Okay. Everybody who isn't this Bloated Corpse, just run at them. That's all there is to that. This guy has a much shorter range than the normal Necrofex Colossus. He's way more of like a melee unit. Now our deck droppers are going to get here pretty quickly. Are they faster or slower than normal bats? It looks like they're about the same speed, actually. A little bit slower. Well, you'd have to be really good at aiming a catapult to hit a unit of bats flying at you with it. That actually impacted. They do have slingers. Oh, right. I forgot about this nonsense. Well, they spawned their unit on top of my... Okay. You got me. That Bloated Corpse sure is dead. Alright, who do we actually want the bats to target here? I don't want to ignore the slingers. I know that our bats are going to take a ton of damage ignoring the slingers, but I think the Plague Claw Catapult poses the biggest danger to my other incoming troops. Let's do that. I assume they can fire while moving? It actually does not say fire while moving. Maybe the clumsy flight of the bats make it too difficult to aim. Not that we care much about aim in general. Let's see what happens over here. Is it going to be necessary for me to do anything else? So that's kind of what I was figuring would happen. But obviously I don't want them to hit my gunners in the back. Yeah, alright. I will have a unit of melee turnaround. Okay, they shot my bats with Warp Lightning while we were right in the middle of their units. I think they're going to find out that that is not having the effect that they were hoping. It would be best if we did not lose these deck droppers, so that is a thing to be concerned about. Okay, I'm not worried about this. They have this under control. Also, I hate the big notification bubbles that prevent you from clicking through them and also cannot be clicked away. Alright, let's move them over to here. I would love it if we did not lose this unit. Try to disrupt these crews a little bit. You... Nope. Oh, maybe. Yeah, alright, that's cool. Here, do it on these guys.
Blood dispel. I'll cut them.
They've summoned an enemy unit. Okay. They summoned it in my melee, which I appreciate. This should be easy enough to deal with. So, does he actually only has... Okay, it said he only had 4 ammo, but he's fired his gun a couple of times now. I don't know how the ammo value is calculated. It clearly does not just mean 4 ammo. Alright, I want to finish off the Plague Claw Catapults, but I'm afraid if these slingers survive, they will actually kill my deck droppers, so let's make sure they don't.
At your service.
So I want my lord to go fight their lord. And this spell's really finicky. It has a pretty large "you are too close and can't use this" area, but it also doesn't really have great range overall. The area in which you can use that is remarkably small. seems like an okay time to start singing. Why don't you go handle them? I think we're pretty much done here. My lord is kind of getting his ass kicked. I'm gonna have him strategically withdraw here. Isn't their lord? Yeah, their lord's a wizard. McDonald, what's going on, man? Why can't you fight at all? What's your deal? Okay, so they're breaking. I don't know why they keep summoning their free units in the middle of my army, or like in the middle of my melee. I think it would be pretty easy to get some kills if they summoned them up in our gunners. Have this guy walk over. He doesn't necessarily even need to continue or to engage directly in combat. He just needs to get over here so that he can be terrifying. Alright, I mean, we didn't really get to see a showcase of his power. My guess is that what you really want to be doing with him is firing into massed melee. Hopefully we'll get a better demonstration soon. Also, while I was not paying attention, a whole unit of sirens died, because that's what sirens do. They just die for no reason. It is remarkably hard to keep a unit of physical immune ghosts alive. Alright, so I have said several times that we seem to have broken the main Skaven push, and I've been wrong every single time. So I am not going to say that now. But we are showing us way more powerful than they are now. At the beginning of the war, I believe that bar was a little closer to even. Now remember, we are only getting actually a portion of our strength down here. So the fact that we are showing us way more powerful than them does not necessarily mean that locally we are more powerful than they are. But I am heartened by their weakening. It doesn't necessarily take a long time for Skaven to build their force back up, but we have killed a number of enemy characters, like in a permanent, not coming back from the wounded list type way. Hopefully enough to stick a little bit. So I think the plan is going to be to send Silastra down to finish off Ulthuan, rather than having her come over here to reinforce. I'm hoping that the two armies together should be able to make some kind of headway now. And we're pretty much just going to have to wipe out Clan Pestilence. That's not really part of our goal. Yes, fine. Wiping out Clan Pestilence is not directly part of our goal, as I was saying, but it is a thing that needs to be done. Ugh, the cowardice of beastmen. I mean, we gotta go over there and kill those guys, unfortunately. It's not really optional. Okay, good. We saw through their hidden encampment modes, so let's just go down the list. Silastra definitely needs to begin the trip south. Okay, Burke Black's army is now stronger and in position to take out these rebels. Wait, I thought it said ambusher discovered. Can't help but notice that he is still invisible.
Get moving!
Yep, he is still invisible. Alright, well, two can play at that game. I'm going to lay an ambush for him here in the forest. Hopefully that'll work. Alright, let's put away these rebels. Yeah, this is an extremely basic army. We do not need to manually resolve this. You know what? This is actually pretty significant replenishment, and I do want this army to just get on the move now. So let's go ahead and take the replenishment for a change. Alright, so public order in this region is still absolutely in the toilet. I mean, what are you going to do? I'm going to demolish this building and put up a public order structure there. So we were going to start pulling red line stuff. Obviously, the skill that improves your gunners is of tremendous importance. Grab something out of the raised dead pool. I probably just want another bloated corpse, right? They're good, and they're fun to use, which is another important qualification here. Get you some tenacity. Okay, that's 8 points. Okay, it's way better than a single skill point put into Scarred Veteran.
Another victory.
So we need, in order to help seal this up, we need Hotek's Column and the Twisted Glade. Let's head in the direction of the Twisted Glade. And I'm gonna single move here. Single move. I'm going to not march mode because we can make some ship upgrades, and I think I would like to do that.
The council is disappointed.
Interesting. So he has an army that has some doom wheels in it. I wonder if I should maybe back up, actually. Yeah, you know what? Let's fall back to the monoliths. I don't really want to fight him solo. This is an overextension that could end up with us losing an army. And losing that army would not be the end of the world, but it would be annoying. Alright, O'Bones McDonald gets to finish off Ghost Fleet, and he has become level 5. So, welcome to the command structure. Turns out we haven't had a fleet sailing admiral since the last one died horribly under mysterious circumstances. So we are definitely lacking real artillery here. Part of me wants to save the slots in this army, but I guess there's no reason to save anything. Let's. You know, a hand cannon gunnery mob might actually be really good against Skaven. They run a lot of dense, low armor units that I think hand cannons are probably going to be okay at fighting. Let's do that. And then, unfortunately, we really can't even move into Skaven territory very much. We got to get out of the trees. I'm going to get out of the trees on my side of the line here. And you know what? I'm going to remove this building. This building is just not... The melee building is not any good. Okay, there we go. We can build something else in that slot. So actually, while we're sitting here in local encampment mode, why don't we dump 3 units of deckhands and replace them with, like, mortar sirens? This army's a little ranged heavy.
Admiral of the fleet.
Henrietta has finished recruiting the stuff I told her to recruit. Grab another one of these. And then we probably ought to just march. I probably shouldn't wait any longer.
On the double. Undead raiders.
Well, Bones McDonald is going to need some backup here. So we could grab some normal deck droppers. Like, let's just round her army out real fast, and then we can replace stuff as it makes sense. So we need 6 more units on top of that. Grab some bats for interference purposes, and then probably just some more melee. Yeah, it's important we just get to 20. Alright, who's next?
Bombs on deck.
What do we do with cat reins? I guess we could ever walk around the north side of the island trying to find that treasure.
Do not make mistakes.
We could also disband her army, but as soon as I do, those guys from Nagaron are going to come down here. I guess we need her to be sitting here at least as long as it takes for all of the walls to get built everywhere. So yeah, we can just have her search for treasure. Let's walk over to all of the locations that have things that look old with writing on them and dig for treasure one by one until we find the markings of the ancients that treasure hunt is mentioning.
Captain, on deck.
You should check out the Bleakhold Fortress, because maybe we get some treasure.
All ship shape.
Nope. What we get is Clan Rictus. Turns out they're here as well. What do I want to pick up on you?
They're cowards. Known for it.
She's almost immortal too, which is nice. Henrietta moved already, and we're waiting on everybody else to come back from being wounded. Okay. Let's see what else the AI has in store for us. So I wonder how much of the territory to our direct north has been taken by Skaven. I would like to do something about this. I mean, I guess maybe this is what we could have Cat Rains do. Just sail over here, because it wouldn't be too hard to make it back to the North Shore if the Dark Elves make it so that we have to. And she can be accomplishing something in the meantime. God, I cannot wait to be rid of Lothern. How many turns has it been since we pushed them all the way off of Ulthuan and confined them to one tiny little settlement in the ocean? Feels like it's been a lot. Alright, army from Nagaron. Okay. The moment we leave the Shrine of Cain, they're coming back. They heard that I had a plan that might involve me actually having control of my armies, and they were like, no, 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 no. This cannot stand. Alright, my replenishment has been hindered, but I don't think that actually matters. I don't think that has any effect there. So I think all of those guys are at full health already. Each hero type has, like, there's one action they can do against an army, and one action they can do against characters, and one action they can do against a settlement. So he hindered replenishment because it was the only thing he could actually get away with. Like, it's the only thing he can do over there, even though it, like, almost cannot be helpful. Just gain an XP. Man, there's a lot of stuff going on over to the east. The block of major Eastern power turns takes forever. Also, several of those Eastern powers are showing up as stronger than I am on the balance of power bar, which is that is something considering we have 6 full-size armies now. Granted, our armies are not rated super highly, owing partially to the fact that I've gone real light on, like, monsters and stuff, and we have a lot of low-tier units because our low-tier units are incredibly good. But even so, the balance of power bar we're seeing on the von Karsteins over there probably represents them having 7 or 8 reasonable armies. Okay, we have intercepted them. They are just totally boring units. No sense in doing that one manually. Yeah, you know what? I think I'll take some replenishment over 400 gold. And Peggy is rapidly reaching the point where she too will be immortal. Oh yeah, if we didn't have Dark Elves showing up at the coast, like, right now, this is another thing Peggy could do, is run down and help with that. Okay, so we have formally destroyed that particular clan of Beastmen. Tim Fenn has respawned down here. Not a bad place for that to happen. We probably cut a unit of, like, the gunnery mob, I guess. Hold on.
Landfolk are weak. The fleet master has spoken.
Alright, how are we going to do this? Where are we going to go? We're probably going to go south, right? We know that they have all this stuff down here. How's the floating pyramid doing on rebuilding the walls? Next turn, we can start building the actual wall structure. We're going to have to be a little bit more careful with our gold than usual. Yeah, so I think we're headed this way.
The crew are restless.
We may as well have her full move.
Deckhands, forward!
So how far down can Tim get?
Pleasure.
So I think we're going to have him...
All above board.
I don't want to move him outside of Tim's movement range, but I want Tim to join the army in the field, like at the edge of the army's movement range, because I don't want him to abbreviate their movement either. But we'll just cut the gunnery mob. I don't know that I want to cut melee from that army.
No prey, no pay. Get on!
Okay. They're in each other's reinforcement range. That works out just fine. You have to be careful. You can never tell when you're going to get surprised by the Skaven.
Voyage of the damned.
Invaders.
I think Hellebron is just moving past. I don't think she's going to go after any of our stuff here.
The seas are my domain.
Yeah, so I'm just moving toward Hotek's column. We should try to stay together.
Vampire waves.
Let's max out Wind of Death. Overcast just straight increases the damage. Also costs 23 winds of magic. So that's worth noting. You know what, I'm going to go around here and see if we can get him. So let's have
I have sailed the world.
Peggy move to about here. Go into ambush mode, and we'll see if we can't pull something off here. She needs a new bloated corpse.
Admiral of the fleet. Swift
Now, unfortunately, like all Skaven, these guys are gonna have the ability to ambush on attack. We're just gonna hope that that doesn't work out for them.
blood kiss of the seas.
Corsair of the night. I can and will prepare my coffin.
Yeah, probably it doesn't really make sense for her to do anything other than just go home and cover.
Captain, on deck.
Viola needs to keep...
On
Yep,
my
well. I think we know that Arnheim belongs to them. But you know, what am I doing? I need to go this way.
Off deck. Move.
Not with my tail.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do something here. It's very inconvenient that the Dark Elves are showing up right at this moment. Somehow, we still don't have enough armies. Man. And we're gonna have to leave, like, somebody's gonna have to stay behind and defend Nagarond unless we actually wipe out all the Dark Elves up here, which is a long-term task. I would really, really love to have one fewer army. As it stands right now, we're having a hard time making any money. But at the moment, I don't think we can afford to disband anyone anywhere. Just entirely too much stuff going on. Interesting.
I have brokered with storms.
Yeah? Is this the moment for this? While I'm on the way to your lands? Alright.
You are nothing to the top.
They would like to offer me 3,000 gold. How much does it help me to get peace from them right now? We have peace from the Vampire Coast. Don't necessarily have to worry about them. At least not for the moment. They are still military allies with Clan Pestilence, so continuing to fight Clan Pestilence is going to lead to them redeclaring on us. And I could use the 3,000 gold, but I think the fact is this is the time when we need to be pushing. So, nope. Really? Tim Fenn got immediately rewounded? Well, when, they had another army all the way down here. When Lenny Sealegs comes back from his wounding, he will probably be able to kill this guy immediately. But it's annoying that it's even a concern. Like, Vampire Coast is potentially going to get pirated up. Hopefully the Pirates of Sartosa and the Dreadfleet actually do some damage to them. Because I would love it if they got really distracted right as my land forces were headed toward their important settlements. We may get a little bit lucky here. Doesn't really sound like us. Does not match the way this adventure has gone so far. So I noticed that Silostra is pretty close to one of those Regiment of Renown navies in the water there. We might detour to fight. Because it doesn't look like it's going to cost very much movement to do it. They actually are like really close to us. We're going to have to see which Regiment of Renown it is, whether it's worth the trouble. Yeah, Gentleman Jenkins here. Oh, he's actually moving toward me. He's making it even easier for me to take him out. And unfortunately, Leonard, we just don't... I hate to break our date, but we just do not have time for you right now. Battle is a blood-soaked affair. Limbs severed, bones exposed, men left for dead in the cruor-soaked fields among scores of fallen friends and enemies. Strong weapons forged with time, sweat, and expertise mark the difference between victory and defeat. A good sword cuts clean through bone, severing heads and limbs, where lesser weapons will merely maim. As instability grows across the world, so too does man's bloodlust, and his desire for war and carnage on an ever greater scale. Just sort of a broad condemnation of humanity. Unfortunately, this is horrible for us, because we mostly do our damage through missile damage, which is not affected. Alright. That guy did not successfully pierce our, he did not successfully pierce our ambush, it looks like, so he doesn't realize that there are two armies here. And also, hooray for Jim Anderoff the Immortal. So we're going to get to destroy that army pretty easily. Let's have a quick look at this. Gentleman Jenkins is responsible for... which one? Okay, a Regiment of Renown handgun mob. What are the actual stats of that regiment? They are anti-large. Although it looks like it's just their... Oh, right, I remember, we looked at these. It's just a zombie pirate gunnery mob of polearms with guns instead of the normal mob with guns. Well, I suppose we may as well. It's not even actually out of our way. And his army doesn't look that good. They do have mortars and stuff, and I'm in an area now where I will not easily replenish. The thing is that, like, that unit's not that valuable, really. Alright, let's get him. Oh, cowardice! I didn't even realize that you guys would do such a thing.
This plunder is for all. More valuable.
The money's good too. It's valuable to have that money. Excuse me. The pirate known as Lucky Levi met his end at the hands of his own men after dabbling in black magic with his lucky rabbit's foot. Really? That's all it takes to be dabbling in black magic? The fool was trying to raise zombie deckhands for his crew, but his first mate was not best pleased at being replaced by the walking dead, and so shivved his captain while he slept. But Levi's undead mob continued to serve their master, throwing the first mate and the rest of the living crew overboard and scuppered Levi's ship. Okay. Well, we got ourselves a treasure map, which will be useful on somebody. And we took a little bit more damage than I would like from having done that. We can back up a little bit here. She can fully replenish in a single turn, like completely trivially. Also, I suppose Robert would like to hit max level sometime soon. Alright, who else? Everybody else, actually. So we want her to show up, but we definitely want Burke Black to lead the battle because we want to make sure that Enrialdo is getting XP.
Prepare boarding hooks. Get going.
Wow, that is a hell of a retreat there, buddy. Again, rats are pretty fast movers, I suppose.
Follow, shipmates.
Cleanse them of life.
Okay, we don't need to manual this one either. It's nice to be able to just fly through some of these more trivial battles.
There is only my
Wow,
will.
we really took a lot of damage on some of our units there.
I am your master,
Ooh, we should take the ransom. That's a lot of cash.
Rajan.
So, the Circle of Destruction is actually in a region that we currently don't own any of. It would not seem to be the best use of our time to go after that right now, I think.
It's mine.
I think we want to head back toward Hotek's column. Like, we want to seal up the rest of this province. I especially want to fall back here because we are going to have to put down a rebellion in a second anyway.
Swiftly now.
We are making some headway on this front. It's slow, but we're getting there. Actually, you know what? Yeah, this is fine. And you can also grab a new die.
For eternity.
Alright. Oh, Bones McDonald, we're still... we're getting close to being able to threaten here. I'm glad that we brought both the
The
armies.
sea knows my fate.
So you just get... I don't know, we'll replace our poor lost gunnery white with just some random garbage.
Landfolk are weak.
No prey, no pay.
We're not going to actually be able to attack this turn, but we can get close.
It shall be done. Don't linger.
No sense in having us both march. One of the armies can at least
I thirst.
be in pretty good shape for the battle. Being tired at the beginning of a battle really does make a difference. Stats are a lot worse when you're tired.
On the double. The sea brings death.
Alright, we'll just follow them down the coast. Unfortunately, if the Skaven decide to hit the coast as well, it's going to be really awkward for us.
I hunger.
You are headed toward the volcano because we could really use that extra money. And where did Eve Hodgson reemerge? Well, okay. You might be able to wound this guy.
What I do.
And her scuttling through the jungle at maximum speed on her crab. Probably we are not establishing a pirate cove anytime soon. Bribery is 5% extra chance to succeed on things. That seems broadly useful. Floating pyramid desperately needs actual walls. We should probably spend a little bit of money up here for the same purpose. Okay, the Shrine of Cain's not ready yet. We'll do this. I know we're tearing through our money, but we really it'll make my life a lot easier if the side of the island that the Dark Elves are on is completely walled off. Well, it feels like we're kind of flying through the turns here. Oh, I should have somebody grab that special unit of handgunners. Does anybody have a...
Yes.
Yeah, you're pretty fresh. Well, you know what, though? This northern theater is going better. But you can only summon regiments of renown in your territory. So I guess the guys in the south won't be able to do it anyway. Alright. May as well use them if we got them, right? I see Ulthuan has formed an army again. I think that, I assume that with Lokir Felheart declaring war on us, he is intending to send armies upward, northward. So probably Silostra is going to get into some stuff here pretty soon. Also, I'm starting to get a little worried that Cat Rains may not be sufficient to hold off the number of Dark Elves we're seeing here. Oh, really? They have... Okay, so they had another full army just sitting in ambush mode near the city, and then they attacked us and got their offensive ambush off. So this army's probably dead then. Because they're allowed to bring in reinforcements in an ambush, but I'm not. So this will be a 2v1. Offensive ambush mode is like super lightning strike. It's a little bit less reliable, but it is considerably more powerful. Yeah, this sucks, man. We have to break down Clan Pestilence. It has to happen. We literally cannot take and hold the settlements that we need to hold down here on this continent without doing this. But fighting them is such a pain. Where the hell are all the Skaven? Over there. Yeah, this army has no way of dealing with their siege equipment. We're just doomed. Alright, well, as always, we have to do the maximum amount of damage possible before we die, because it's got to be easier for the next army to be able to fight. But this is very demoralizing. Just not a super fun part of the campaign over here. So we can't go anywhere near them. We have to get them to come... Yeah, if we advance on them, we're going to get torn apart by storm vermin. We don't have anybody who's capable of dealing with the artillery, because that's just true of the vampire counts as a faction. Or Vampire Coast. We can send these bats over behind, and maybe they'll decide they don't want to use any of their range to counter that. We can hope. And then... I guess, so they have a big monster. We can definitely shoot our cannons at the big monster. Unfortunately, these things are, if I remember correctly, borderline impossible to kill. They don't have great leadership, except this one, which obviously does, because I am fighting it. But it has regeneration and a billion health. Doesn't actually have great melee defense. Although we don't care about melee defense. We can't do damage to it in melee anyway. Just sort of as a faction. But honestly, maybe we can gun it down. We have to hope. I guess that's going to be your job, and... maybe the melee forms up like a little bit more over here. We try to engage the rats this way and let the gun line fire into the flank of that battle. It's going to be tough. Of course the enemy reinforcements are coming from the other direction. All we must ask ourselves is, what would be worst for me? And that is what will happen. Okay, more storm vermin. Make sure that our units are doing the things that need to be done here. So we're going to run over here. Actually, just fly directly for the warp lightning cannons. I don't know that we need to apply a lot of strategy on that one. Sirens need to probably just go toe-to-toe with their good troops. Obviously, my goal here is not to kill, but to hold in place. And I'm actually going to have my lord sort of back out to the side here. run around and hit like the plague monk sensor bearers in the back or something. Yep, there's the slingers. Okay, the good news is they're summoning their extra units right on top of us. Bad news is my gunners have decided they already are going to give up. Pretty standard play from our gunners, actually. Yeah, this is the right place for the bloated corpse. In theory, this would be a good time for us to... Oh, I don't have overcast, shoot. In theory, this would be a good time for us to use our shanty, but I want to make sure that the gunners are actually going to fire instead of standing around before we do that. Okay. Okay, we got some pretty good damage off there on some of their more powerful units. I want to try to hit the thickest part of their force here. Yeah, get him. That looks pretty good. No, you're too slow. Yeah, alright. Well, hey, that was not bad, actually. Feel pretty good about that. Alright, their lord is trying to do the thing that I was trying to do. Can I switch you to melee mode? Yeah. Alright. Handle that, please. And let's get the rifles and continue wrapping them around the side here. So we have a ton of enemies coming in from over there. We will lose the game. Like, we lose this battle 100% for certain when they reach us, if there's still stuff going on over here. We can't fight both of those things at the same time. So, let's do our best to not have to. Because if there's any hope at all for us to win this battle, it is in removing enough of this part of the thing from the field before those guys show up. So I guess what we have to do really is, like, get all the way over here. You two permanently broke him. Honestly, this is probably a good time for us to try to get a flank around. Although, it looks to me like they're trying to draw that path in a very non-optimal way. Yeah, go around the side. We gotta make sure that we are watching for opportunities to use Invocation. We probably do not get a lot of value out of Dance Macabre, and we do not have the undeath thing that heals every time we cast, so we really can't afford to just spend wins. It's gonna have to all be invocations. Man, I don't... Apparently I'm just gonna have to fight these plague monks in melee. It's not really what I wanted to do. Okay, those guys are broken. You are no longer in melee mode. Get back on your mission of killing this Hell Pit Abomination.
Captain.
The bats have actually done a really good job of screwing up the siege crew here. I'm proud of them. And the Deathglow Bombardiers are focused on my deck droppers instead of on the units that they could kill that would be, like, actually really bad for them to kill. So, in a lot of ways, we are being given an opportunity here. You guys probably just make sure those... Oh, you know what? Despite the fact that the flag is right here, all of the clan rats are over there, so never mind. You don't have to worry about this at all. Still trying to keep an eye over there, but I think we are, I think we're doing kind of okay here. Never mind, you just got your job. Keep moving forward. Alright, this artillery crew is not entirely broken yet. I want to make sure the bats are actually finishing these guys off. Okay, now they are entirely broken. Let's break the other ones. Alright, look. Those guys are about done. Okay, So, this deckhand mob is not actually going to be able to chase out the slingers. I assume slingers are faster and can fire while moving. But we can hit these enemies in the back. Looks like you need to heal yourself, I think. Hit these enemies in the back and hopefully do some morale damage. How much do I want to... I think we gotta shoot these guys. They do enough anti-infantry damage that it is important they die. The rest of you can probably just keep moving for the moment. And we need to start taking shots into the backside of the enemy as soon as that is possible, but I gotta make sure that we actually have, like, angles where we can get hits. Because my guys will stop and fire when they are told... they'll stop and aim when they are told to stop and aim, regardless of whether or not they can actually do any damage from there. That's an annoying place for that. Finally found a spot where I'm, like, not going to be able to do anything about it. And I can't help but notice my guys are not shooting. Warp lightning.
Fleet, Admiral!
The Lord is completely given up on life.
Get going! With haste!
I can't get out of this mob. They managed to... there we go.
Move, you dogs! Get going!
Your Lord should not be vulnerable to falling apart from morale.
Don't stop!
Well, I'm gonna get... no, I'm not gonna get to cast.
Move, you dogs!
Alright, let's try to use you guys as cover.
No more delays!
Alright. We've done some okay damage here. Starting to see the first... you guys just get in their way. Starting to see the beginning of that other army. Of course, these two units have been completely destroyed by the Deathglow Bombardiers. Where are my bats at? Okay, they did actually manage to chase the siege crews all the way out of the map. Good. Now come back and get these slingers. Honestly, these bats have done some fine work. This thing is at half, which is unacceptably high. Apparently I'm just not allowed to use Invocation anymore. So I guess we'll cast the other thing. That's pretty weird. Yeah, we have 3 units firing various types of guns into them. None of it is mattering. Bats are going to give up from simple proximity to enemies, which is pretty great. You guys can probably deal with that. Try to have my rifles disengage while the handgunners break those guys down real fast. Alright, that should give them a decent firing angle at least. Well, honestly, we've done a little bit more damage here than I thought we were going to. Huh. That's weird. Didn't you have a target? Oh, is the Helping Abomination... I think it's dead. Okay, never mind. Apparently, you are no longer firing at your target because you actually killed it. Well, good job then. These guys are just immune to damage from bullets, which is rough. That's a rough quality for them to have. How am I going to deal with this? We just don't have anything left, is the answer. I'm out of tools. Alright, you guys hit them. Fall back over here, reform a little bit. Actually, you're probably fine. We try to reform these guys. You can just shoot at them. These rifles are going to be completely wiped out by the presence of a small number of clan rats. Not because they were actually defeated, but because they are bummed out about having had enemies near them. You know, honestly, that was not the best warp lightning ever. It was probably okay. Alright, well, the Death Globe Bombardiers have gotten to use literally all of their ammunition. Have the deck droppers fall in here for melee.
Gunnery mob. Get her. Moving.
Yeah, it's a shame that the morale stuff works the way it does, because it means that our Necrofex Colossus is just going to die instead of forcing the enemies to actually take it down. It would probably do quite a bit of damage on the way out if they had to actually fight it.
Big, big, big.
Oh yeah, it spawned that deckhand mob. The crew of the Necrofex Colossus has arrived. Sad times. Yeah, so unfortunately the only way to fight Skaven without the potential of losing a whole army is to have a stack that can survive a 2v1. A 2v1 where they get to start in ambush mode. Which is to say that it is not possible. We're just going to have to... This is going to happen a bunch of times, and there's nothing we can do about that. We have to keep coming at them until it doesn't happen. Because it's possible for their ambush thing not to trigger. They're not guaranteed to get these offensive ambushes. It's a chance every time they attack. So by attempting it, they are putting themselves in some danger. If it had not fired here, there's a real good chance that my 40 units versus their 40 units straight up, we could have harnessed the power of massed rifle fire and gotten the job done. Yeah, we tore this first army up pretty good. We killed the big beast. We got rid of their siege crews. We did a lot of damage to their elite units. The slingers are still up and running, but honestly, those slingers aren't that dangerous. Mostly what they do is poison you. With that lack of killing power, we can oppose them with a straight rifle unit pretty easily. Okay, so with that army dead, I mean, they can just do the same thing to the other army now. Yep, and they will. Gee, what luck that they managed to get both of those offensive ambushes to fire. Well, O'Bones McDonald's army is a little bit tougher, and also, he's immortal, so at least he won't be killed by this ambush. It is possible, although I don't think I would say it's likely, but it is possible that Silostra's army could just eat 2 stacks of rats. So when she shows up on their southern side, we might be able to make something happen here. But yeah, I mean this is going to work for them. Ugh, at least with Lightning Strike you don't get reinforcements, you know? There's some way you can fight an enemy who Lightning Strikes you. And that is by having a stack that can just stand up to their 1 stack. There is, I do not believe, any strategy that works against this. You get ambushed in the field and you die. Alright, we're gonna fall all the way back to the siege stuff. And we'll figure it out from there. Actually, I probably want the rifles along the hill a little bit more, and my melee more in front of the artillery. We could send our bats out after their artillery. This army doesn't have a ton of ranged. And also, these bats aren't really good at anything else. You guys are also falling back. And the bloated corpse is going forward, if anything. I don't think I actually gave him orders, but he should definitely also get back there. Alright, we want to try to leverage our mortars as much as possible here. Okay. They summon clan rats on top of my bloated corpse. Not, I think, the best move they've ever made. Oh, I did not give the bombers explicit orders. I forgot that we have a bunch of weird units in this army. Also, man, those warp lightning cannons are really getting some damage in, considering that they are attacking from an angle that I thought was a little bit more obstructed than... Yeah. No, it is. They're just firing through the trees and getting their shots. Alright. Try to use the speed of the deck droppers to buy ourselves a little bit of time. Not just directly eat all of this ranged fire. The mortars are firing back. Looks like we do not have the luxury of waiting for everything to line up. Now, fortunately, their actual melee line is a little bit less terrifying than the last one was. We're going to actually be able to do some damage to them here. This unit of gunner, or this unit of bombers is like there. Not need to maybe get a little bit faster turnaround on that. Don't run quite as far as I told you to run. And the handgunners want to try to wing out over here, I think. To commit our combat units a little bit faster than I wanted to. I was hoping to fall back and take advantage of the gun line, but we're just not fast enough. Come on, guys. You guys are, seems like going a little bit further than I told you to. There we go. Let's focus up. That is an annoying position for that to happen in. Where's my lord is kind of committed to combat already? Yeah. Disrupt their formation a little bit. We have some rat ogres we got to deal with. You lot. Do that. Do that thing I just said. These guys will probably just give up. I don't know that we necessarily need to do anything here. Have the Necrofex Colossus walk past them, and hopefully that'll be good enough. And the bomber mob can throw bombs into the sensor bearers, hopefully over the line like this. Okay. Shoot him. Shoot him now. Or don't, or just never... There we go. There goes some gunfire. The Sirens want to give up already, huh? Cool. Let's see some flamethrower action. Too many spell effects going on. Oh, also the bombs. Also there are bombs. That's good for us. Alright, the good news is they're summoning their reinforcement clan rats directly into my melee. We've done some okay damage here. Actually, you know what? The handgunners, or the shotgunners have this. The hand cannoneers have this. We should probably focus the rest of our stuff on... I was going to say we should probably focus the rest of our stuff on killing the retreating units, like doing as much damage as possible. But maybe with most of their force in an open retreat, this is the moment to fall back into that formation I wanted in the first place. Because we do have their the rest of their guys incoming, and they're in bad enough shape that if they had to face the gun line, I'm sure it would break them. Yeah, maybe this is the moment to back up. Get the formation that we really wanted to have. Like, what does that actually look like? That looks like most of the gunners falling back to here. The bombers can stay up and do their thing, although one of the units of bombers is actually out of ammo already. Yeah, that's They go through that quickly. Now let's fall back. The bats need to stay where the bats are. They're doing the thing that needs to be done. I'm actually gonna have these animated Hulks finish this job because I want the hand cannons to turn on those guys. I didn't see them there. And in fact, that's also a fine thing for some mortars to do. And the rest of the melee can kind of fall back. I'm gonna have the gutter runners get shot at by our cannon. My lord is currently mixing it up with their lord, and it looks like I may break him. I don't know that we're necessarily going to win this fight, but if he retreats, it doesn't matter who was winning the fight. Ulthuan can fall back. We don't really have a lot of other melee. This also is a problem we have to be aware of. So falling back helps with that a little bit. I would love to finish them off, but we do got to break their stand at their siege stuff if we can. That's pretty good. So unfortunately, the instant that I turn any of my troops around, they all unbreak. So we're probably going to have to do something about this. We're probably going to have to change the plan up a little bit. Can the gun line basically reform where it is? Stop running. Bombers have to turn around and make sure these guys actually get bombed out. We're not going to have a lot of melee left, unfortunately. Like, we've almost broken those gutter runner slingers. See if we can use our deckhand mob as a shield against the spears. Man. Deathglow bombardiers basically can't be killed by stuff. They've taken a couple volleys of artillery fire now, plus all that handgun stuff. And nothing gets through. They have so much armor. Okay, so that'll mess them up. Not mess them up bad enough for them to actually run away, though. Did you see that? They were going to waver, and then they were like, you know what? No, I love being hit by bombs. Actually, this is my favorite thing. The gunnery mobs on this side have to help out a little bit here. These guys are not dying as fast as they need to. And then you guys actually can just... Yeah, I'm going to pull the melee back. Their lord was thinking about giving up, and then he started beating my lord in melee combat, and now he feels more confident. And actually, it looks like I was a little worried when the Gallows Giant when we saw the Gallows Giant has 4 armor. I was a little worried that he was going to be like a kind of a gimmicky skirmish unit, but actually, 4 ammo, but actually he has apparently very close to infinite ammo. Alright, shoot their warlord. Can't help but notice I'm not seeing a lot of rifle fire devoted to this right here. Can we maybe fix that? So you guys got your shot in. I'm wondering if I should just turn some of the rifles around. My concern is that if I turn them around, they still won't shoot. But I do actually need these mortars. So you have to at least give it a try. I'm going to put the Colossus into melee mode. Try to peel their lord off of mine.
I'm here! Sea magic! The wizard's charm!
Okay, that worked.
Shamble on!
Don't mind fighting, but we gotta be careful who we're fighting and where. Unfortunately, this unit of bombers doesn't really have a role in the combat anymore. We maybe use them to slow their lord down. Their siege stuff is still pretty distant. Alright, our bats are maybe going to actually kill the enemy siege stuff, so that's good. Siege crew has stopped fleeing, but came back to join in melee rather than going back to their war machines, which I really appreciate. Okay, looks like this has been resolved. We didn't actually lose enough crew for it to be a problem. Okay. Wonder how many more charges that they have left. Alright, their lord is, unsurprisingly, losing handily in combat with the Necrofex Colossus. It is getting the job done. I'm gonna have my lord turn around. Let's try to hit him in the back. No, don't move. Attack the unit that I'm clicking on the flag of. Okay, they have interpreted me clicking on this unit's flag as a move order enough times that I feel I need to pause and make that happen manually. It looks like we broke the death globes, but not permanently. Unfortunately, I'm not sure that chasing them is actually going to work for us. Like, we're not going to be able to keep pace with them and keep shooting at them. So I'm going to have these guys fall back to the gunline area. Alright, that ought to be resolving soon. Come unbreakable. Yeah, just stay in. If we could kill their lord, it would be so useful. I'm seeing some permanent breaks. Looks like we did manage to disengage their siege crew. Try to get out of there if we can. Oh, hold on. Nobody is chasing. Turn on guard mode. Okay, we gotta fire into this mess. Yeah, alright. You know what? I'm starting to think there is some chance. Some tiny but non-zero chance. Their lord, unfortunately, cannot be convinced to retreat. But that's alright, we'll just kill him. My Necrofex Colossus seems to be a little confused. I'm trying to buy my bombers a little bit of room to back off. Oh, they have... Their artillery crew is set up. Their one remaining Warp Lightning Cannon. I think they have one catapult left, too. But that is a real, not exactly at this moment kind of problem. So, let us try to get the gun line in position to do the thing. It looks like we're probably going to have to move forward just a little bit because I am not going to be able to get our melee to back up. Their units keep looking like they're about to break and then deciding that they have no interest in breaking, so unfortunately we are stuck here. We're definitely going to buff up the accuracy of these mortars. I kind of forgot that I should be doing that. God, look at that. Look at the Necrofex Colossus just like spraying fire all over the ground and stuff. This is a cool unit. Alright, all that's left is the one unit you were supposed to be fighting. There we go, he's breaking. Mortars are doing some good stuff. For some reason, the enemy is responding to my mortar fire by clumping up as much as possible. Alright, take you off melee mode. You need to go and fight them. My bats are not going to make it. They stopped and turned around. Get over here and hang out with your friends. Changed my mind. Everybody just group up. We're apparently having some morale issues. We can help our morale issues a little bit by grouping up together. Also, killing enemies. Killing enemies is usually good for morale. It doesn't always seem to work. Okay.
Instructions.
And there we go. We're getting some damage here. All right. We need to do something about our lord up here. Get out of there. Get out of there. Their lord is remarkably difficult to kill. Oh, don't be in the lightning. Okay, I think... Alright, we broke their lord again. They are now charging me with Gutter Runner Slingers. It's not actually as bad of an idea as it sounds. Gutter Runner Slingers are definitely a cut above most units of that of the Slinger type. So yeah, mortars on these guys. That's definitely the most important unit to fire on next. We might hold out here. We might be able to make this through. It's going to depend on whether my units decide that they hate life or not. They may, as a group, choose to just give up on living. We've seen it happen multiple times before. In fact, it kind of seems like my lord is doing it a little bit. What are you doing? I need you to be part of the battle. Have them off pretty soon. Yep, my lord just fell over dead for no reason. Great. Guard mode for all you guys. Hold up, I have a unit of sirens over here. Actually, them being in this forest all chill and not dying is probably the best thing that could have happened to them. Sorry, probably the best thing that could happen to the lot of us. Please kill their lord. Come on. Oh my god, why won't he die? There we go. That should have some effect. You need to keep working out... Oh. Deathglow Bombardiers. Those have to die. That's important. Yeah, you should keep firing into the thickest part of the enemy force. Now over here. They have the crew of that Warp Lightning Cannon who did get driven off by our bats, it looks like. And we still have half a unit of Sirens who are in pretty good shape. Hold on, these units don't actually have a... Okay, no, those guys are fine. These guys are the ones who are not actually facing the enemies. Oh my god, we're gonna hold out. Well, I think a lot of this has to be laid at the feet of the Gallows Giant. He has done some fine work here. I can't believe we won that. So, oh, Bones McDonald is wounded. I want to see. Come on, do it. Nope, he thought about firing and then elected not to. Thought it wouldn't be prudent. Yeah, Pyrrhic is a good word for that. You know, the word that you would have to use for what they did is much worse, though. That's really embarrassing that they were able to 2v1 me twice and they couldn't win the second one. It's a good thing we did as much damage as we did in that first battle, because otherwise this would not have unfolded the way that it did. So, Bones McDonald is going to have to take a little nap, and we lost our other army, and we lost a bunch of units from this army. The upside here is that we are going to have a lot more money to play with over the next couple of turns. We're paying a lot less upkeep. The downside is, if it turns out that the Skaven settlement over here has walls, we just won't be able to take it. Like if it has garrison buildings at all. We really don't need the money. I'm going to take the replenishment. Oh, they had a third army. Ugh. Man, it sucks to fight Skaven in the jungle. This is the worst.
I hate pirates.
A defensive alliance with one of the most hated factions in the world. Nah. They wanted me to pay for that, too. I think our current diplomatic standing is fine, thank you. The followers of Nagash were destroyed. That's a faction that we saw down here a little bit. Is this all just like main Khemri faction now? Unfortunately, they don't seem to care for us. Like most people. We might be able to get on their good side if we were at war with one of their enemies. It is my experience that Khemri are usually a little bit more easygoing than the other, many of the other types of factions. They hold grudges, that's for sure, but they don't have the same great power modifier that other factions have diplomatically, where they like you less the bigger you are. In fact, I think some of the Khemri factions like you more the bigger you are. So it can be a lot easier to be buddies with the skeletons. Which I think, first of all, makes sense from a lore perspective, but secondly, I just really like because it means that you have cool skeleton buddies in a lot of games as you're doing well. And I think the Khemri are one of the coolest factions in the game. There's some really neat stuff going on there. I'm a sucker for cool undead. I don't know why, but I really, really like undead units. Undead characters. Undead anything. Okay, so we have to assign a new leader to O'Bones' army. It should probably be somebody with the vampire lore. I don't know. Whoever they are, they're going to be somewhat temporary. Income from raiding up is not super good. Ambush success chance is kind of interesting. Is there a one with ambush success chance and also the correct lore? Recruit rank +1 for all units. That's interesting. Cat Rogers might be a good temporary steward of O'Bones' army because she'll recruit new units at a higher level and then pass them off to him. Tim Kelpclaw. Yeah, whoever this is, it does matter a little bit. I think we're gonna go for Cat Rogers.
All bones on deck.
Even though Cat Rogers is not the lore that I would like. Oh hey, Lenny Steelegs is back. Can he reach this guy? You know what your job is. Jesus, look at him. Alright. I've had just about enough of slicing. Slicing does not make me feel good. Alright, I don't know, man. Okay, and with that, I think we are done for today. We are probably going to have to just retreat, because they have charge lock. They also have, you know, whatever's in this garrison. Like, we just can't. We cannot fight a real garrison right now. But, good news, the Gallows Giant is amazing, and I really wish I had pursued our faction quest sooner. So that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time when... I mean, I would love to say that we're definitely going to make progress, but there is a small chance that it's just going to be this episode again. You know what? Celostra is going to make it to the end of Lothern next video. That's going to happen for sure. So come back for that, and we'll see you then.